In Hong Kong, Indians make up less than 1% of the population. They first arrived as part of the British Empire when it gained control of the territory in 1841. Indians have since filtered up through all levels of social, economic, and corporate life. For the small minority who live in this cosmopolitan city, Hong Kong provides vast opportunities for entrepreneurs.
Right now, I'm headed to a little tin area where a lot of hawkers are selling, it's like their own area, they sell fabrics, and I always go there to buy fabrics for clothes, but today I'm going to be getting fabrics for my backdrop for a shoot that I'm doing later. So this is just Apley Street, and this is the place where a lot of locals come and visit when they're looking for absolutely anything. Sometimes when I need to get stuff, I come over here. This is the first place that I think about where to go. I'm Aanchal. I was born in Hong Kong, and I'm a fashion photographer. You know, my very first lens was a camera lens that my dad got from Canon. So when I went on 300, I was shooting out of my window, and I was trying to get a picture of the car, and it was like shaking because there was no stabilizer. Something like this. So when I look at these, I sort of remember how I started in my journey too.
Many Indians are well integrated with the local Chinese community and proudly call themselves Hong Kongers.
I今日想買黑色布，不過要好長。
要好長幾長？
要好闊同埋好長。忙啊，做嘢啊。
哎呀，我哋好休閒啊，見嚟。
I don't really differentiate myself from the locals. I actually feel quite local because I was born and raised here. 幾好啊！係啦。幾多錢？
呢隻你要5碼，嘅係30蚊一碼，你咁熟嘅計你25蚊。唔怕啦，你放咗咁多年。
My parents speak Cantonese. They interact with everybody.
好，多謝晒你。多謝晒。有咩嘢再過嚟？會啊。
The occurrence that I was different or from a different cultural background never existed for me.
Indians moving to Asia stepped into common business roles, with the professions they filled varying from country to country.
Traditionally, when I think of Indian people and what they do in Hong Kong, first thing that comes to mind is if you're talking about an Indian woman, it would be leaning towards education. So it would be like teaching. For men, tailoring, and then import-export as well.
Aanchal's father is a business owner and her mother is a school principal. Perhaps it was the women in Aanchal's family who inspired her to take up a non-traditional profession.
My entire family is here, and what I know of my grandparents is their businesses or their careers were to survive, and women don't work. My mom was one of the bridge breakers. Yeah, she was one of the first few Indians in Hong Kong that actually decided to go out and work full-time. It was very inspiring for me and my sister as well, because I think she gave us the strength to just pursue our passion. And so when we knew what we wanted to do, it's just natural to go out and do it.
Aanchal represents the next generation of entrepreneurs, children of immigrants who accept their position as niche members of society as a way to empower themselves, take risks, and move into business sectors totally unfamiliar to their ancestors.
When I think about how I started my journey, I started as a fashion designer, and when I approached my family or approached some of my friends and said I was interested in design, it was so easy for them to be like, yeah, you could do it, because it's associated with being a girl, so it's good, you're good at design. Clothes are something that comes naturally to you, right? At 16, I decided the route, to enter the industry, because I couldn't get an internship at that time. I didn't have enough experience. I was too young. But then I wanted to see what it was really like working in the industry versus just studying fashion. I started doing handmade jewelry, but then I didn't have to have rent or anything. I was doing it myself, and then I would find places to sell it, like collaborate with other artists where they were already selling something. So I didn't have much of a cost. But then the time that I decided to get into photography, I got very strange messages or like vibes from people. It was just like, oh, you're so skinny. How can you handle the gear? Like, are you sure you want to do it? We decided to build a space on our own. And that was another thing where everyone's like, you're a girl. How are you going to do construction? How are you going to build something from scratch on your own? My family is 100% supportive of what I'm doing. I was 22 when I decided to start my own company. I have my sister who's always there to help me. She came here to help me with painting and construction as well. I like this color. This is actually a really good color. Are you using this one? This one, yeah. Oh, I should use it.
Working with Aanchal, I enjoy it a lot. I've grown up with her, so it allows me to express myself completely. We create together, as you all know. It's the most fun working with your sibling.
I'm gonna make sure you move it. Yeah, probably at the inside. Yeah, right there, but not like a dot. But I know. My sister Krishna, she's currently a student in university and she's doing creative media. So animation is one of the key elements in her course. But their eyes are open most of the time. So I remember her being very attracted to special effects makeup. And then she sort of developed towards body painting, and then that sort of developed into fashion makeup, because she used to come along with me and help me out sometimes. And so I think that sort of allowed her to practice what she was doing at home,
Members of the diaspora have always found ways to succeed despite starting out as outsiders. They bring their own culture and traditions, but share them openly and assimilate many characteristics of their adopted homes. For sisters Krishna and Aanchal, they have channeled their multicultural upbringing into a successful photography business.
Krishna, can you peek in the back and then turn that back one, the backlight a little lower?
A lot of times I used to help Aanchal with fashion. Her designs include both Chinese and Indian influences. I was born in Hong Kong, so I've lived here for all my life. We have kind of a mix of local Hong Kong style as well as Indian, as well as a little bit of foreign.
Maybe if you're a little away from the rack. When I was studying fashion design, a lot of the things that I did was inspired from Indian heritage. Yeah, you could, yeah. My first collection wasn't, but the second one was. It was my roots as a Sindhi, because Sindhis are from the north, and so, if you look back at the history, we have a mix of like Persian roots, Arabic roots, Roman roots, and like all of these things put together to create Sindh and Sindhis in general. So I took that as my inspiration, and I sort of merged all the cultures together in one piece. I did it for a competition, and I was awarded a prize. Lean back a bit more, Jamie. Yeah. Good. In the light a bit more, and Dana, you have to go back in a bit. In photography, when I think about that, I'm actually inspired a lot more by Chinese heritage and culture. Maybe because the sets that I have around me in Hong Kong are more towards that area. So if I go out to shoot, it would be more towards that side. But they're both very much my culture. I'm influenced by both Indian culture and Chinese culture. I don't think of anything as a hindrance, really. I think if you want to do something, then why should anything or anyone stop you? If you love it enough, then you would do it. Yeah, I like it. Looks like you're in pain, but then your body's still very good. What I think is India and China are the two biggest countries in Asia and in the world, maybe even. So when they come together, I really think that it can be a lot of great things that can come out of that, those two cultures. I feel like I was lucky. I'm an Indian, and we're so much in touch with our roots, but then I'm here, so I get to experience both. I feel like that shaped me a lot.
In Asia, There are few fields that have been left untouched by the Indian diaspora. Many have used their cultural roots as inspiration for new business ideas that are able to thrive in a global landscape. Their ability to assimilate the best of what their host countries have to offer has also seen them add value and color to their adopted homes. As they continue their trailblazing efforts, the entrepreneurial spirit of the Indian diaspora will be carried well into the 21st century.
It's just a boy.